So, if I want to buy a house in Ararat, who do I need to speak to? And what is the best way to go about it?
Thanks, Kaya. That's a great question. My suggestion is you're best to go and have a chat with your bank or a broker for a start. So then you'll know where your lending limits are, what you can afford to repay, and then go and have a look, have a chat to some agents about what's on the market, research online, so then you know what you can afford. That's the best way to start, I think.
Are there many houses for sale in Ararat?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. After, during the COVID period, before the COVID period, there was a glut of properties on the market. That's really changed in the last 2 years. There's about 71 properties on the market now, and I was looking the other night, probably half of them are under offer, so not a lot of options for buyers at the moment, and I think that will probably continue for the foreseeable future. Interest rates are changing, so whether that changes in the next 6-12 months, who knows.
What is the quality of the housing stock in Ararat?
It's a real variety of stock. Anything, it's pretty rare to get something under 200,000 now, which is it's amazing to say that. But most of the properties on the market are between, say, 200 and 800 or 900,000. So anywhere from a brick unit through to a lifestyle property on a few acres, and then properties on the edge of town as well on some acreage. So yeah, good variety, but not a lot of stock.
What is the median house price in Ararat?
It has fluctuated a little bit in the last few months, but it's between 350 and 400,000, the median house price.
How much deposit do I need for someone to be able to buy a house in Ararat?
A usual contractor sale would require 10% deposit, unless we negotiated something other with the owner. So usually 10%.
How long does it take for the people to move in once the house has been purchased?
Good question, that's a negotiable term or condition of a contract, but the average is around 60 days settlement, 60 or 90 days, pretty average.
Is there a first home buyer program or grant available in Ararat?
There is state and I think federal grants, so there's a regional grant where you can buy a house with a 5% deposit, so that's a great initiative that's only come out in the last few weeks. And then there is also stamp duty savings or exemptions for first home buyers as well.
Will the house price go up in the next few years in Ararat?
Well, to only have a crystal ball, it's Ararat's in a really strong position, economically, great jobs prospects. So I think we're going to continue to grow nicely. What percentage is a bit of an unknown, but once we get the dual highway through, lots of employers looking for staff. So we're in a really strong position. So I think we're in for some continued growth.
Do people need to clean the house before the new owner moves in?
Yeah, it's not it needs to be as inspected at the day of when you look through the property. So it's generally, I like to make sure the owners have left it in a nice, clean and tidy state. It's not a requirement. For example, I would suggest to a seller to get the carpets clean, but it's not part of a contract usually, unless it's a negotiated condition of the contract. So,
are people able to obtain a property sale report?
Yeah, if anyone wants to reach out and ask for an updated market report for Ararat, we can email that through at any stage. Pop into the office, we can print one out for you. So yeah, definitely available, and we can update them all the time.
Who are the people that can buy a house in Ararat or in Australia? For example, what type of residential status do people need to have to be able to buy a home in Australia?
As far as I'm aware, you would have to be an Australian citizen. So yeah, I think that's probably the guidelines around that.
Do people need a broker when buying a home?
It's a good idea if you've got a local bank, to potentially go in and sit down with a lender, or contact a broker who's got access to all all the different banks and lenders. So yeah, yes, it's a vital part of it.
What are the advisor's fees and commissions when buying a house?
It's probably nothing to do with when you're purchasing a property through the estate agents. It's probably more around the lenders and the brokers, and that would be built into the home loan.
Anything else you believe is important?
My suggestion to especially first home buyers going through the process, ask lots of questions. There's no silly question, and when you're buying, always a great idea to get a pest and building inspection, so then you actually know what you're in for. If it's an older property, what work might be needed to be done in the future, and then you're fully aware. But ask lots of questions. Ask lots of questions of your agents, people in the community, your solicitor or conveyancer, and especially your bank or your lender.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
So, if I want to rent a house in Ararat, who do I need to speak to, and what is the best way to go about it?
It'd be good to come into an agency like Ray White and talk to the property managers, either Mel or myself. You can look online, there's lots of options there, and you can even apply online. There's local newspapers.
Social media, there's a lot of options there. Yeah.
Are there many houses for rent in Ararat?
Yes, look, it all depends on the time of the year. Sometimes, through December, January, there is a bit of a lull around Ararat with, teachers and doctors, everyone moving to the town. But since COVID, we've found there is a lot more available rentals here in Ararat. I've noticed on Realestate.com, there is a lot more stock available for people moving to Ararat.
What is the average rental in Ararat?
The average price of a rental in Ararat at the moment is around $340 a week, but that's for a 3-bedroom house, so depending on a few more or less bedrooms, it can vary a little.
Can you tell me about the lease agreements? For example, how long I can rent a house for?
Yeah, so preferably owners like 6 to 12-month lease agreements to commence with, and then after that initial lease term is finished, we reach out to the renter and the owner as well to see, if we can offer another 6-month, 12-month lease term. So when you first move into a rental, within the first 3 months, we will come along and come check the property for the owner to see if there's any damages, if you want to report any maintenance to us while we're there, and that report gets sent off to the owner just to see how you're maintaining their investment property. And then we come again at the 6-month period and we do it the same thing all over again to see if there's maintenance, etc. And then again, from then on, we come once every 6 months around just to check the property out for the owner, see if there's no damages and how you're maintaining their investment property.
What do I need to do as a tenant?
Once you move into a rental property, we just ask that you keep it clean and tidy, you report any maintenance or any damage that might occur.
Weekly rent paid on time, just maintain your property, which we give a good list and an outline in the new tenant pack as well. And if you need help with your utilities getting it set up, so example your electricity, power, water, internet, mobile phone, everything, we have a company called Home Now that's affiliated with us here at Ray White. So what we do here at the office is send your details off to Home Now and they contact you to set up all your utilities for you free of charge.
What are the obligations of the landlord?
Yes, so since 2021 we've got new rental laws that have come into Victoria, so houses do need to meet a minimum standard, so that includes heating, everything needs to be working in order for a new tenant to be able to move in.
What do I need to do to apply for rental in Ararat?
Probably 2 main ways that you can apply. You can get a paper application from here, or we can email you one, or you can do so online via our website. These forms involve just some personal questions about yourselves, your income, we need some forms of ID.
Yeah, that was bad, and some references. Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
No, thank you very much for interviewing us.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Kelesa no chomoa no chomoa kwa kruna kruna kru Kwa kruna kruna kru Musa pele